Republicans take control of the House, NBC News projects. So it is now formally confirmed. We knew this was going to happen. That's why we were all saying, yeah, we get it. Republicans won the House. But now it's formalized. There's no recounts. Nothing's going to change. The only question now is how many seats will the Republicans actually gain in the end of this? It's looking like 219, but it could actually be a little bit more depending on recounts, and we'll see. But I just want to point out, this is massive. They're already talking about investigating Fauci. And the lead for this show is like Paul Pelosi has weird, lovers tryst romp hammer attack or something like that. Because I guess we kind of knew the Republicans were going to take the House. But the question then I guess for everybody else is, how excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I am 3. Only because when I think of this issues and what we're going through right now, we've talked a lot about left and right and blue and red, but I'm starting to think it's actually like an economic plan that's happening right now. It's very complicated. There's lots of people with lots of different ideologies making moves and trying to take control, and they want us to think that it's a binary thing between them and us. But really, it's a bunch of different economic pressures. So this stuff is kind of like the mask that we are talking about that is being created, in my opinion, by the villain. If it's a villain, if there's going to be a villain. Maybe I'm the villain. I don't even
1 to 10, how much I'm excited for the Republicans? Is that what you're asking?
For them gaining control of the House.
0. I don't think it's going to matter.
I didn't say 0 to 10. I said 1 through 10, Luke. Come on.
Give me 0.1.
He won't do it.
Negative 1. This is not going to change any. This is not going to do anything. And the Republicans have been.
You don't
pathetic.
think they're going to go after Fauci
in the House?
Yes, they have subpoena power and investigatory power.
I'll be very surprised if they do.
They've already started talking about doing. Come on, you got Thomas Massie in the House. He'll do something. Rand Paul is apparently having meetings as well. He's in the Senate. I know he doesn't have the same power, but
it's not looking too good.
What do you think? They did choose McCarthy and McConnell for leadership.
Yeah, exactly.
I echo Luke's sentiment. I would go with a 1.
A 1.
I just don't think it just does. I don't think that I hate saying I just don't think that they will let us win. I think it leans towards like the QAnon stuff, like where you go, all right, we got the House now, we got our people in, here we go, we're going to investigate, Fauci's going down, we're going after this guy, we're coming out with our hammers.
Touche.
And once again, it's setting us up for this disappointment when we need to be looking at the reality of it.
Unless, look, I'm certainly not a 1. I'm not going to pretend like Republicans coming in, pushing McCarthy and McConnell to the top again is any kind of real victory. But 31 members of the House did reject McCarthy. So there may be some leverage from I think it was mostly the Freedom Caucus, that they were basically like, nope.
Yeah.
I think we'll see some stuff. Look, we're not gonna win everything instantly, but I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, it's better than Democrats doing January 6 hearings.
I agree. And I think, and I'm not completely sure on the process, but the vote for leadership doesn't take place until January, I think, until they reconvene. And
no, they did. You mean for the House? I think. Oh, it's right. It's nomination. I think. Is that what happened?
I think so.
No. I think McConnell he did win, didn't he?
I don't know.
Someone fact check it. I'm pretty sure they've already had the vote. Matt Gaetz, I think, maybe not Matt Gaetz, and I can't remember who in the Senate were trying to get it postponed, saying like, I think it might have been Hawley. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Saying like we should wait on this, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of the House.
It says Mitch McConnell wins secret ballot election to continue leading Senate Republicans 7 hours ago.
Yeah.
From CNN.
I know.
That's just my wishful thinking.
I've got like this feeling like if we're talking about the future of humanity, that it's a big global project. And we as Americans, a lot of us are stuck in the American perspective where we're only looking at ourselves. And that if we can do this, then the whole world will win. But like, I think a lot of people in the rest of the world are looking at us like goofballs obsessed with the circus that we're in right now. And like, hey, let's exit the circus and look around.
Sort of.
So 1 to 10. What are you, Tim? For McCarthy.
Well, so for McCarthy? Come on,
I mean, this is essentially what you tried to get me to answer.
No.
This is why I said 0.
I'm excited that there's a small handful of Republicans who can have some pressure ability. But I'll put it this way. If 1 is I'm extremely disappointed, 10 is I'm excited as I ever have been, and 5 is kind of, I'll say 6. Like when you say 1, you're saying like, I'm mad about this. This is the worst thing ever. This is bad for us. 5 is where you're like, meh. I say 6. I'm cautiously optimistic that the circumstances we have to look forward to with Democrats is more January 6th nonsense, waste of our time, things that no one cares about. With Republicans, it's like, okay, I guess hopefully they'll start talking about Fauci or something. Maybe not, but whatever. The January 6th stuff is done.
Yeah, it's subjective because I just don't see any kind of larger solutions out there. I don't see them making life better for the average American, especially with McCarthy just controlling everything. He's going to be protecting a lot of people inside of the establishment and making sure that the Republicans aren't too wild, aren't too crazy, don't make too much crazy moves. So he's there to keep everyone in line, and I think that's exactly what they're going to be doing here. And it's not like they have a lot of wiggle room here. They barely were able to win this. So as far as my optimism in politics, it's none. My optimism is with the people of the United States. It's with local officials, local individuals taking charge of their life and being responsible for themselves rather than giving all of their power and authority and money to politicians that don't give a damn about them.
Okay. No, I agree on a lot of those points. We have this other story from Timcast.com that goes along with this. House Democrats maneuver to stop Trump's 2024 presidential bid. House Rep cites the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause as basis to deny return to high office. This is what we have to look forward to if the Democrats retained control of the House.
That's a good point.
They'd be just going, the 14th Amendment, man, they'd be banging on the walls. We ought to pad the walls to help them out. Because
you think they can't get a Republican to flip in the House? I think they can. I think they still could go forward with this, and then they just go to the Republican and be like, you know that trip you made to that island? You know those videotapes we have on you? Are you going to vote with us, or do you want some larger expose on TMZ? What do you want there? Or they'll go to McCarthy, be like, look, McCarthy, we'll give you, something. We'll give you a little bit, but we want to make sure this happens. McCarthy would be for this. We got to understand this. Yeah. The old Republican base would be for this. So this is why, again, I don't have a lot of hope in this.
Right. And meanwhile, they have the media in their pocket. And so as they're doing that, they're churning out the narrative, and they're just once again corralling the truth, which puts us in a very difficult position when we have things like nuclear war, what's happening in the medical side of things, what's happening to all of us. Our country is being destroyed.
By the Democrats and Republicans.
By both sides.
By both parties. It's a duopoly. It's a two-party system that pretends to be fighting each other most of the time. Sometimes they really do fight, but most of the times it's all pretend. It's all WWE.
Hold on.
It's all entertainment. It's all showmanship.
But that feels a little archaic to me. I mean, I agree mostly, but since Donald Trump got into office, we started seeing a whole bunch of libertarian and America First candidates. I'm not saying they overlap. They're both anti-establishment factions. The House Freedom Caucus, where Ron DeSantis, I believe he helped found it, has been pushing back and expanding within the Republican Party. So that's what I'm looking at. Obviously, I'm not excited for Mitch McConnell. No one likes this guy. This is the funny thing. I pulled up the civics polls and went through every single demographic. Not a single demographic views him favorably, not even Republicans.
Right. So how's this guy leading the charge?
Because they're all cowards.
Exactly. And there's a reason FTX was donating not only overwhelmingly to Democrats, but also to the GOP. People don't forget, a lot of when it comes to this larger FTX story, which is, I think, very important, you don't just see the Democrats being bought off here. You see about $23 million going specifically to the Republicans as well. So a big money plays a lot of influence in our politics, and we have to understand, once we get rid of that influence, once we get rid of that money, then we could actually have some real conversations. But at the end of the day, these representatives aren't representing us. They're representing a special interest that bought them off, paid them off, and they're going to be doing their bidding no matter what. And there is some infighting, sure, but even before that, there was the Tea Party. There was essence of people saying, this is crazy that we're dealing with these two parties here that are controlling our dialogue, that are controlling our life. We need to stop this because this is how they fool and kid everyone to vote for the lesser of two evils while always presenting evil. And I'm just sick of it.
I'm not going to sit here and defend the GOP leadership or their party or anything like that. I'm only excited for the small faction of like the Freedom Caucus and the people who are actually pushing back. Obviously, the fact that they've chosen McCarthy and McConnell for leadership, it shows you exactly where this Congress is going to be. And it's unfortunate, but that's the reality. You're going to get a whole bunch of Republicans saying like, no, we can't go off investigating Joe Biden because we're going to take the high road and just let them do whatever they want. Yeah, or it's going to be more like, we got to take the high road on this and not investigate. Heaven help me if they find out how I was involved.
Yeah, there definitely are a lot of good people that are making inroads, that have been elected, that are making decisions based on the right things, and not that videotape coming out of that trip you made last week, or how much money they're going to get, or things like that. They're working for the treasure here on earth.
You think there are people that have actually good intentions and aren't bought off?
I think so. Sure, somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think
Thomas Massey.
Yeah, sure.
Both independently
the
wealthy, I think, too. Marjorie already had a successful business when she ran. I think Thomas also. I'm not sure
I don't think Thomas Massey is rich.
Okay, I don't know what his
He's got like a
situation
farm.
was. Yeah, he's a
MIT. He built the
Cluck capacitor.
That's
the
it.
chicken thing.
An inventor.
My
We need more
friend has one of
inventors.
those in New Hampshire, JNU, and he's an awesome human being.
Cluck
He
capacitor.
builds Cluck capacitors. They're incredible.
I said this before on the show. I talked to Thomas Massey after he was on the show last time, and he was like, "Dude, Congress it's like a I don't know how he exactly described it. He's like, it's like a fraternity. It's like not a fraternity, but like it's like high school. Like people emotionally yelling and like, I'm not gonna talk to that bitch, like that kind of stuff. And he's like an engineer scientist, and is like, this is insane. We need more science. We need more engineering.
Yeah.
And he's just like, wow. But you do it anyway because you're called to it.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.